Hey y'all, it's Charla, and on this week's episode of Corn Fed, I know a lot of you kickstarted 2014 with some of the tips that I gave you in my Diet Corn Fed video, and you loved it, and I'm so glad, but there was a lot of questions that you guys sent my way. So this week, I'm going to address some of those questions, so here is my diet Q&A. Alright, let's dive right into these questions. Miranda Michael wrote, I love your diet video. I have a question. You said you eat that every day. Do you ever go out to eat for lunch or dinner? And if you do, what do you get? You have to get tired of the same stuff every day. I guess I don't get tired of the same stuff because eating the same stuff kind of cuts out the question of what am I going to eat, so it kind of makes it easy when you eat the same thing every day, and that just like cuts out on any mistakes that you ever, have any slip-ups. It's kind of error-proof to kind of eat the same thing every day. But of course, I do go out to eat, and if I do go for like lunch, like a barbecue place, I will strictly just get the turkey breast or the chicken with no barbecue sauce and like a dry baked potato for lunch. Or if I go out for dinner, I'll get like fish or a steak and just vegetables. But again, I don't eat carbs after 2 o'clock, so I just stick to, just the meat and the vegetable. But yeah, just stay away from carbs at night is the main thing. But I guess a fast food option though, I don't really eat fast food, but if I do, I usually go to like Chick-fil-A and get like one of their salads because it's pretty packed full of some fresh vegetables and fruit and stuff. But that's really the only time I really eat out. Otherwise, I just cook pretty much for the whole week. Misty wrote me on Facebook and said, this is very doable and affordable, thanks. Also, how do you cook your turkey and what brand do you buy? Mine always ends up dry. Actually, I get my turkey from Walmart, and it's called Honeysuckle White, and it comes with like 4 or 5 little turkey breast cutlets in there, and I just throw some Pam in like a skillet, and I put 3 or 4 cutlets in there, put some salt and pepper, and then I put the lid on top though. That is what is going to keep it from getting really dry. But that's pretty much how I cook my turkey, and then you cook it 6 minutes like on one side, and then turn it over 6 minutes on the other, and you're done. Jenny put a Facebook comment and said, Charla, do you have any tips on seasoning you use for your turkey and fish? Is that plain brown rice, nothing added? Thanks for the tips. We're going to try this weight management and healthy skin in our household. Oh, and speaking of healthy skin, I'm going to be doing a corn fed tutorial on like what I do for skincare and stuff coming up. But as far as the turkey and fish goes, you've heard how I cook my turkey, but for fish, okay, here's my fish tip. This is so easy. You want to throw this in the oven or on a grill, and you put, like a cookie sheet, and then you put foil down. And then when you buy the salmon at the store, it just comes in like the cut of salmon, but it's got the skin on one side. Well, what you do is you put it face down, like where the skin is on the top, and you pop that puppy in the oven like 350, and about 10 minutes after you've cooked it for 350, that skin will just peel right off. It's so awesome. And then if you want to get fancy and make it look pretty, you can flip it over and then season that side. Or I just season the skin side. It's not pretty, but whatever. I'm just going to eat it. So, but I mean, if you've got guests or whatever coming over, or, feeding your hubby, you might want it to look a little fancier. So you can turn it over and season again, and then pop it back in the oven for another 20 minutes. And that is how I do my fish. Now, brown rice, yes, that is just plain brown rice. Sometimes I put butter on it. I don't want to steer you away from butter. I think butter is great, and it's a good fat. Butter's great. And sometimes I put like salsa on there. So there you go. Hope that helps. Shandy Abbott wrote on Facebook, thanks for sharing. Do you juice the kiwi or do you skin it? So I guess, yeah, the kiwi, I said sometimes I'll eat that whole or juice it. Definitely take the skin off. You don't want to eat the skin. Yeah, no. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't ever eat the kiwi skin, so I definitely peel that off. Amanda sent me a message and she said, what do you drink? Just water? Thanks for the tips. And yes, sorry, I did not include that on what I drink or what my intake is, but it's just water, and I try and drink like 3 big liters every day. But I used to try and do like Crystal Light in there and tea, but tea keeps me up at night, and Crystal Light, you're just feeding your body with chemicals, and it's fighting chemicals instead of fat. So stick with just water, you'll be great. Crystal Manning sent me a private Facebook message, and she said, I've recently cut out all Cokes and I've been sticking to water and tea. I also drink 1 Spark daily for my energy fix. I've also started eating cleaner, but it's tough since the hubby doesn't like fish or turkey. And I'll tell you, it is tough when you're like married and your husband eats a lot more than you, but you just have to make that dedication to, this is what I'm gonna cook for me, and I'm gonna cook you kind of the same thing, but a little different variation, and make it a little bit heartier. So you're just gonna have to stick to your guns, make yourself fish. If your husband hates fish, just, you know, do that, and that is what you have planned out. Make your husband something completely separate. Now, the whole Spark thing, I know I'm about to like piss off a lot of advocates, but Spark again is like drinking Crystal Light. Like, it's full of just man-made chemical products and aspartame, and they say it's natural, but it's not. It is a man-made product, and when you put that stuff into your body is gonna fight against getting that out and flushing it out of your body instead of fighting fat that you're trying to lose. So you're kind of, you know, every time you put something like that in your body, you're combating the whole objective. So stick with water, I assure you. It's so much better of a choice. Tracy Renfro sent me a Facebook message, and he said, I typically struggle with my morning part of the diet. But why salt in the oatmeal? Is it just for taste, or does it add to something later in the diet? Salt in the oatmeal, yes, definitely just for taste. And I mean, sometimes I put butter in my oatmeal. Butter has salt in it, so that's just for taste. But I used to be like this no salt person, absolutely stay away from salt. But if you completely cut salt out of your diet, you're like, the cells in your body don't have a way to keep the water in them, and you don't stay hydrated and stay healthy. And so you don't want to cut all salt out of your diet. You just want to be careful with your salt intake. Katie Key sent me an email. I love you, Katie, by the way. She said, quick question, do you prefer fresh vegetables like broccoli, etc., or do you think it's okay to get frozen sometimes? Definitely frozen is the way you want to go. Absolutely, that is your first choice. Yes, it's a little bit heftier on the pocketbook, and frozen vegetables, they last a lot longer, and that's kind of your second option, because you don't want to buy a bunch of fresh stuff and never eat it and get to it, then you're really wasting money. But you definitely want to do fresh vegetable first, and frozen is your second option. But they're still okay. I mean, they're still fresh. Just go with fresh as most often as you can. Brandy Harris wrote me, and she said, what do you do when you cannot eat exactly that? Do you have anything that is travel friendly that you go to? Well, I kind of told you earlier, like my fast food option, but if I travel, I cook everything before I hit the road, and everything is in Ziploc bags and a little Tupperware, and I take my big cooler on the road, because then it just kind of cuts out on, you know, I mean, it's a foolproof system, so you can't like stray, and you know, then you end up eating an all-subs burrito or something. So definitely go out on the road traveling with a plan in place. Oh, and I definitely have like cheat days too. I don't want y'all thinking like I am like super strict every day, all the time. I don't do cheat days though. I don't think as a girl, I can get away with it. I think guys can get away with a whole cheat day, but as a girl, I think like one cheat meal on the weekend is completely fine, and that's great to kind of mix up your metabolism too. So one cheat meal on the weekends is usually what I do. Jenny Ross actually sent another one through Facebook. She had another question as a follow-up to her first one, and said, Charla, I'm not a big fan of fish. Can you suggest a lighter tasting fish or alternative to salmon that would be good for dinner? I know it should be something with good fats, but just not sure what. Oh gosh, girl, I stick to salmon because I feel like it fills you up a little bit more than some of the white fish, but you're always good to go with like codfish or tilapia. But if like fish, you can't really even stand the taste, like if you want something completely different, you can search out buffalo meat, because that has really, really good fats in it. So you might like check into like Whole Foods or Kroger, but they have like ground buffalo meat that's really tasty if you cook it the right way. But I think that's the mistake that most people make with fish. They steer away from it because they don't cook it correctly. So if you do that whole grilling upside down, take the skin off, you're gonna be good to go. Hey guys, well I hope that answered most of your questions about my diet video, and if you got any more, just comment below and I will definitely message you back and get back to you, I promise. And make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel and tell all your friends about corn-fed. And coming up on next week's corn-fed, I cannot wait, it's the eyelash tutorial you guys have all been requesting, so have no fear, I'm finally bringing it your way. That's next week on corn-fed. Love y'all!